Magomed Ankalaev will defeat Alex Pereira in their scheduled rematch at UFC 320 that will take place on October 4th in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm going to do a technical analysis of the upcoming rematch, their first fight, the round scoring, their strikes, their game plans, how they need to approach this upcoming rematch, how Pereira needs to approach it, how Ankalaev needs to approach it, holes in both of their games where they can both exploit, and etc. We're going to break down the whole fight. And starting with, obviously, this fight took place at UFC 313. Two of the three judges scored the bout 2 rounds to 3 for Ankalaev's favour, 48-47, and then the retard Sal D'Amato had it 4 rounds to 1 for Pereira. Now, there's a lot of debates on who won the fight. A lot of people saying 3-2 Pereira, a lot of people saying 3-2 Ankalaev, some people saying 4-1 Ankalaev. Now, me personally, I believe it was 3-2 Ankalaev, and I believe that's a very fair opinion. I'm going to give my reasoning for such in this video. Now, we're going to go over the first fight and we're going to score the rounds starting off. So, Ankalaev, so Pereira starts out round one very, it's pretty much the best start he could have had without obviously a first round knockout. He was chewing up Ankalaev's leg. At one point in the round, it seemed to have been getting to him. He kind of stumbled over and looked for a catch in the calf kick and tried to throw his backhand at the same time, and you could tell it was affecting him. I don't have the numbers on the leg kicks landed in round one, but I know for a fact it was 5+, and they were really solid calf kicks. It didn't look like Ankalaev checked a single one. As you can see on the screen in front of me, Pereira outstruck him with 16-9 significant strikes in round one, while doing more damage and going forward. So to me, it was a very clear round to score. Alex Pereira, you know, damage is the biggest scoring criteria, not control. So we are going to break that down in the later rounds also. But to me, this was a very clear round. I believe that there was no real argument with this, unless you're retarded. But Pereira won round one. Now, one thing for me that I'm taking into account into the rematch is Pereira had pretty much the best start he could have had against Ankalaev in round one. It was not get taken down early, not get worn and weared out and teared out on the ground and get controlled and have to really build himself back up to the feet and exert a lot of his energy. It was a very slow paced round, and it was a round that he banked quite easily. Now that, and with the damage to the calf, I believe that's going to be a lot harder for him to do in the rematch because obviously Ankalaev is going to be preparing for that. He knows, if he's not on his A game with his leg kick defense and checking the calf kicks, he's going to be in trouble. And he felt that early in round one, and he adjusted pretty good in round 2, 3, 4, and 5. Obviously, he still did rack up a solid amount of calf kicks. But one thing I want to talk about is Pereira's um, Pereira's calf kicks in general. He was throwing the lead calf kick. So obviously, Ankalaev is a southpaw. Pereira is an orthodox fighter. He was wrapping it around so it was hitting the other side of the calf. I believe that one thing for Alex Pereira, he needs to mix it up and go the inside calf kick more. This is exactly how Jan Blachowicz took advantage of Ankalaev and damaged his calf. He wasn't so much throwing the lead leg kick; it was the back leg kick, and it was hitting the inside of Ankalaev's calf. It was almost like there's a moment in that fight with Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev where Joe Rogan says he's just going shin to shin with him, which essentially was what he was doing. He was just yakking shin across shin, and it's shown that it's definitely a weakness in Ankalaev's game. I believe that Pereira needs to take advantage of that. Look at that. It's kind of common sense here. Let's not just spam the lead calf over and over again. Let's go for the inside calf kick as well. One thing I want to talk about with Pereira is, like I said, he had the perfect game plan for the perfect start of round one. It was also getting Ankalaev's mind preoccupied on the leg kick. So that's how he was able to succeed in the defense later on in the fight. And Pereira wasn't able to succeed with his offense later on in the fight because Pereira did not mix up his weapons accordingly. after the calf kick, after he did some damage to Ankalaev's calf. He got him stumbling around a little bit. He wasn't checking them well. That's when you need to go upstairs. That's when you need to start throwing the body kicks. He's a glory kickboxing world champion. I expected a lot more body kicks, a lot more teeps, a lot more roundhouses. And we will get into the later rounds, round by round, but in round five, Pereira throws a beautiful head kick, lands flush on Ankalaev and hurts him. It partially landed, not flush, sorry, it partially landed, my mistake, but you can tell it definitely stunned Ankalaev. As soon as he hits it, he kind of pauses, he goes back, it draws a reaction from the crowd, and yeah, that's the thing. Pereira's just going to the leg, going to the leg, going to the leg. As you can see, if I scroll up on the screen in front of me here, Pereira landed 11 strikes to the head, 48 to the leg, 17 to the body. So with the head and the body combined, he's still landing an extra 20 leg strikes. He needs to mix up his weapons more. He's a glory kickboxing world champion. Kickboxing, not calf kicking. You need to mix up your weapons more, and one thing he needs to do is he needs to box. 11 head strikes in a 5-round fight for Alex Pereira it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It's pretty much 2 a round. So if you're landing 2 significant strikes against Ankalaev in the first fight, and now he's got a better feel for you, he knows what he needs to work on in the sense of the calf kicks, and obviously Pereira knows what he needs to work on, and we'll speak on that a little bit later in the video. But man, if there's a game plan for Pereira in this rematch, it's he had the perfect start in the first fight, and then in round 2, round 3, round 4, and 5, he had the opportunity to, okay, I've got his mind preoccupied on the calf kick. Let's start mixing it up to the head and catch him off guard. He's going to be expecting the calf kick. Let's go high now. Let's go to the body. Let's throw the teeps. Let's get him thinking. Mix up your weapons accordingly. Calf, body, head. Calf, body, head. Obviously not in that order, but go to the body, go to the head, go to the calf with the kicks. There were barely any body kicks. There were barely any head kicks. I think the one head kick he thrown was in round 5 and it landed. If he would have done this sooner, if he would have got Ankalaev thinking about that sooner, and Pereira's got really strong kicks, and even if he's blocking those kicks, that's going to do some damage to Ankalaev's backhand, that left hand, which is his best hand. Um, so I believe in this rematch, the number one important thing is Pereira needs to mix up his kicks more. He cannot just trust on the calf kick, and he needs to go to the inside calf, not just trying to wrap around with the lead. You're not getting enough power in that. Look at what Jan Blachowicz took advantage of. Go to the inside of the calf. Um, so yeah, now round 2. So we've broken down round 1 a little bit. Pereira got off to a great start. Round 2, Ankalaev has his big moment. He outstrikes Alex Pereira by 11 significant strikes differential. He wobbles him towards the end of the round as well. He catches him with a very nice left hand. Yeah, it was a kind of a toss-up round, a bit of a Ankalaev, bit of a lean towards Ankalaev, but yeah, man, he let Alex Pereira, he let Ankalaev recover from the calf kicks, and just once it got to round 3, round 4, round 5, it got later on in the bout, he realized, there's no real mix up here. He knows what he's expecting. It was just the calf, just the calf, just the calf over and over again. And a big thing for me with Alex Pereira was, why is he not boxing more? Why is he not boxing? Why is he not throwing his jab? He's got a long reach. He's got a great stinging jab. Why is he not throwing his jab? Like it's like the saying, a good right hand will take you around the block. A good jab will take you around the world. And I believe he needs to be fundamental in this rematch. He needs to use his jab. He needs to go forward with head movement and box like he did to Roundtree. Look at the final sequence in the Roundtree Pereira fight. He's pushing the pace in the championship rounds. He's going forward. He's throwing the 1-2, pull back, 2. Then he's slipping, uppercut, left hook, rips to the body. He needs to do this against Ankalaev, and he can do it again against Ankalaev. Roundtree's a more dangerous striker than Ankalaev. So, um, yeah, it really boggles my mind because this is such a winnable fight for Alex Pereira, but I just don't trust in his team and his game plan. He's obviously got a great team around him. Glover Teixeira, Paulino Cruz, but this was such a winnable fight. He had the perfect start, and he could have adjusted his weapons correctly and easily won a decision here, a 50-45 decision, a 49-46 decision, but I just don't trust in it. I don't trust in a older version of Pereira to be able to beat the younger and improving version of Ankalaev in a rematch where we have already seen Ankalaev, you know, take advantage of him in moments. Um, so yeah, round two was a very clear round, obviously. So it's pretty clear it's 1-1 going into the third. I did see a couple of retards try and say that Ankalaev won round one. If you believe so, get off the channel. Never watch MMA again. Yeah. So round three, Alex Pereira outstrikes Ankalaev. Now this is the deciding round, in my opinion. This was the deciding round. Now it's a little bit tricky because, as you can see in front of me, Alex Pereira outstrikes Ankalaev by 4 strikes in round three, and Ankalaev outstrikes Pereira by 6 strikes in round five. Now, I actually watching it live, rewatching the fight 5+ times, rewatching these 2 rounds in particular because these are the closest rounds out of them all, and that arguably decided the fight. I had it kind of flipped. Um, I believe that round three was the main round that really decided the outcome of this fight, and I believe that round went to Magomed Ankalaev. Now, I understand that there's a 4 strike differential in favor of Alex Pereira, but I believe if you go back before you comment, before you disagree with me, go back, watch that Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev round three. Try and not be biased. Try and be attentive while watching and thinking, okay, who's outstriking who he is? Whose shots have more pep on them? Who's doing more damage? Who's going forward? And it's Ankalaev. Um, before I looked at this stat, I couldn't believe it. I thought Ankalaev did outstrike him, and he may have outstrike him in this round. These are obviously significant strikes. Um, but watching that round three, rewatching it 10+ times, it just looks so. It looks like a clear, close round for Ankalaev. He's going forward the whole round. He's landing the better shots. He does sting Pereira with one of his shots at the end of round three. I can't, sorry, I can't remember what type of shot it was. I believe it was a right hook no, it was a right jab. It was a jab, and it kind of stuns Uncle Pereira. And I believe that one particular shot was the most damaging shot of the whole round, and that if it was close at that point, that swayed it in Ankalaev's favor. Landing a good shot like that to end the round. He was going forward majority of the round. I believe 86% plus of the time he was advancing. He was going forward. He was landing the calf kicks. He was defending the calf kicks well in round three, and he was going forward, and he controlled him against the cage for a little bit of that time as well. Obviously, if we scroll up, Ankalaev had 5 minutes of control time, which on average is around over a minute per round. Obviously, some rounds are different. That's just on average, but he controlled him for a little bit of the round. Obviously, control doesn't win rounds. Damage does. I found that in the control, in the clinch, Ankalaev was the busier man. He was landing more, and I believe that kind of these stats are incorrect. I believe that Ankalaev's, although maybe Pereira had more, but the significant strikes that Ankalaev landed compared to Pereira's were a lot more significant. Um, I kind of challenge, or not challenge, but I suggest to anyone that is giving that round to Pereira, just go back and rewatch it. And if you disagree with me, completely understand. Let me know in the comment section. We can have a discussion about it. But I believe that it was a pretty clear, close round to Ankalaev once I've rewatched it. You break it down by distance control, cage control, who's going forward, control against the fence, mixing up their weapons. Obviously, that's not a scoring criteria, but the damage alone, I believe that Ankalaev had more pep on his shots that round and landed more damaging strikes, in the sense that I believe that Ankalaev's strikes in round three had more of an impact on Pereira than Pereira's did on Ankalaev in round three. So that is my reasoning for round three. Now, if anyone's aware with the app Verdict, It was round one, Pereira on the global scorecard. It was round two, Ankalaev, round three, Pereira, round four, Ankalaev, round five, Pereira. So I had a 3-2 by a pretty big margin as well for round for this fight. And yeah, I really didn't understand round three. I thought it was a very, very close round watching it. And then rewatching it, it just became more evident to me that it was Ankalaev's round. Now, round four, we don't really need to speak about too much. It's one of the two definitive rounds in this fight. Obviously, round two was a clear round to Ankalaev, as was round one. But not round one, sorry. It's kind of it's one of the clearer rounds in this fight. Obviously, as you can see on the screen in front of me, Ankalaev outstrikes him by 12 significant strikes. A little bit that he touched on from round three, he's going forward more. He's landing the better shots, the more significant strikes. Pereira looks real gun shy. And that's, he probably started to realize this fight's slipping away from me. That's why there was probably a big uptake in round five. He was kind of pushing a little bit more. But in round four was a pretty clear round for me. Ankalaev had a lot of control. He didn't really do anything with it, but he was landing a couple of knees in the clinch, a couple of little peppering shots. Not much damage on either man's side, but yeah, it was a clear Ankalaev round, round four. Round two was obviously still a clear Ankalaev round. Round one was a clear Pereira round. It's the round three and round five that were toss up rounds. Now, I've seen a lot of people online try and say that Pereira won round three more than he did round five, which is 100% not the case if you understand how mixed martial arts scoring criteria works and the scoring criteria based in the UFC. The number one scoring criteria is damage, and I believe that, and I not I believe, I know that it's not the only scoring criteria, it's not the only thing that judges take into account, but it is the most impactful and the most influential on who they score the round two. Round five, if you watch round five, Pereira wins the round because of damage. Obviously, as you can see in the screen in front of me, Ankalaev outstrikes him by 6 significant strikes. It's a very close round in this round. It kind of shows what Pereira could have done earlier, and if he did, would have had more success. Kind of what I was talking about earlier with the beginning in round one. Mix up your kicks, box more. A good jab can take you around the world. He has a very good jab. And in round five, we see that. There's a moment, I believe, in the last 2 minutes of the round where it's kind of even for the first three. They're going back and forth. They're both landing some good shots. Pereira's landing some good low kicks again. And Pereira kind of has a moment where he hits a pullback right hand left hook and he's finally starting to box and he lands it. And he lands a nice right hand on Ankalaev. And he finally is beginning to box. This is one thing that he needs to do. It's not a calf kicking contest. He needs to box. You need to go forward and box. He has very good head movement when he decides to use it. And he has very good offensive boxing when he decides to use it. But he did not use it until late. And, he used it in round five. He won round five. If only he did this in round, two, three, four, the fight outcome could have been a lot different. So if you rewatch round five, Alex Pereira lands two really good jabs on Ankalaev. They're kind of like almost left hooks in the sense where it's not a straight peppering jab. There's kind of like a little turn on and a bit of flare in the elbow. So it's not just a straight jab, but they definitely did do damage on Ankalaev. You can tell that it kind of stunned him, like, whoa, I've got to be on my P's and Q's here. It's the last round for a championship world title. I've got to, stay at bay and grind this one out. You could tell it if you just watch the facial expression of Ankalaev and the body language and him going backwards, you can tell that they had a big impact on Ankalaev, which obviously impact equals damage in a sense. Those were the two biggest damaging shots of the round, other than the beautiful head kick that Pereira lands in that round. He eventually does throw a head kick at some point during round five. I believe that's the only head kick he's thrown in the whole fight. I could be wrong. I know for a fact it's not more than three. It's the only one I remember seeing. But he throws that in round five, partially lands it. It kind of wraps around the back of the head of Ankalaev. You see he kind of bends his knees and it kind of shocks him for a moment. Now he's going backwards. Pereira's going forwards. It kind of looks like, okay, Pereira's catching a second wind here. He's going for the finish. And then nothing happens with it. This is what I'm saying. Mix up your weapons. He had the perfect round one. Go to the calf, damage the calf early. Don't get grinded out. Don't take away from your gas tank. Don't get taken down early. He didn't get taken down early. Land the calf kicks. He landed the calf kicks. Do damage to the calf. He did damage to the calf. Ticked all those boxes, and then in round two, he thrown it in the bin by, okay, I've damaged the calf. Let's start getting his mind's preoccupied on the calf. Let's start going to the body. Didn't do that. Let's start throwing the head kicks. Didn't do that. Let's start moving forward and using our hands now and our long rangey jab. Didn't do that. He waits till round five and does it, and he wins round five. Um, so if Pereira can go forward more, if he can go forward with his head movement, he has a very good pull too, a pull right hand. Obviously, his left hook is extremely powerful. A left hook from an orthodox stance against a southpaw is one of the best shots you can land. So he has a very good demonstration of that in his one of his regional scene fights. I believe it was in Brave FC. He's fighting a southpaw and he lands a body kick. The southpaw comes in and he just catches him with that left hook. It's one of the best countering shots for an orthodox striker against a southpaw striker. And we know Alex Pereira is known for his left hook. He's hurt Yuri with that left hook. He's hurt Roundtree. The TKO it led to a TKO from the left hook in the first Adesanya fight. So yeah, he needs to go full. He needs to go forward. Be fundamental. Don't be scared. A lot of people are saying he's going to improve in this matchup because he is he knows he can stuff the takedowns, but I don't believe that's the case. He obviously knows that's a threat. He knows he can get controlled against the fence, and Alex Pereira has shown in recent events, recent fights, in his fight history, that he's not very. He settles against the fence. He's not working a lot of the time, especially later in the fight. Maybe round one, round two, round three, round four, round five, the championship rounds. He kind of settles there. He's not. Um, he's not really pushing to get out of there and make free and do some damage and win the round. He settles to be in those positions, which I don't like at all. Another thing, youth is a big factor here. Pereira's been in a lot of wars. He's had a lot of hard hits. He's been knocked out various times. He's been TKO'd. He's been knocked down. He's been wobbled. He's 38 years of age. He's had a long career in kickboxing, which is not MMA. It's not, it's more hits to the head. There's no time on the ground and scrambles and control time. It's a lot of hits to the head, knees to the head, elbows, kicks. He's had a long career and he's 38 years of age now. And 38 years of age can not be as impactful on some fighters, but I believe in this case for Pereira, it is. Um, one thing I picked up on early in his career is he does not have a good chin. I saw this early in his career. That's why now I'm throwing myself under the bus. I had a very bad pick and I picked Yuri Prohashka to beat Alex Pereira in their first fight. And that was because of the chin issue. I thought Yuri was going to go forward and land a shot that was kind of going to TKO him, similar to what Izzy did. And I was right in the sense where Yuri did go forward and land some shots. He definitely hurt Pereira, and I was thinking, oh, it's kind of looking good for me here. But then obviously Pereira lands that shot. Um, Ankalaev was kind of like Yuri in moments where he was landing shots, having success. He got confident, he came forward, but there was no counter. This is what I'm saying. There was no counter here by Pereira. He needs to box. He needs to box. He needs to use his hands. So if I'm making a perfect game plan for Pereira, it's you had the perfect game plan in round one. I'm going to mix it up now. I'm going to start round one, not just going to the calf. Let's start early and go to the body with the teeps. Let's go to throw the roundhouses to the head. Let's use our jab. Let's not go backwards here. Ankalaev grows when you go backwards. You grow when you go forwards. You need to be going forward against a guy like Ankalaev. You cannot settle for range and him to avoid your big shots. He's the more powerful striker. He needs to go forward. He needs to go forward with head movement, box. He needs to go to the calf like he did. Go to the inside calf. That's something I talked about earlier. Jan Blachowicz had immense success with that. Pereira didn't even. I believe he thrown it once, if that. It was just all lead calf kicks. Go to the shin. Go shin to shin with Ankalaev. He's shown weakness here. Obviously, you're trying to land on the meaty part of the calf, but still, throw it there. Get him thinking. Oh shit, this is what fucked me up last time against Jan. Get him thinking about that. Slow him down a little bit. Take him off his P's and Q's. Then start throwing the teeps of the body, the roundhouses, the head kicks, with that back leg. Start, even if Ankalaev's blocking them, bang, he's wearing those powerful kicks that you have on his lead hand, on his back hand. That takes away his best weapon. That's a shot that rocked you. You know, do this to Ankalaev in the clinch. Work in the clinch. Get your underhooks. Break free. Land knees in the clinch. I don't like Pereira's activity in the clinch. He doesn't throw enough. As you can see in front of me on the screen, in the clinch, Ankalaev 20% landed in that position. Alex Pereira 9%. So Ankalaev has double the amount of strikes landed in the clinch. Like I just said, you need to land more in the clinch. If you're going to stay there and you're going to settle to be there, land. Look for elbows, look for knees, foot stomps even, anything, but break off, get free. That's where Ankalaev took round 4. Um, yeah, if the control wasn't there in round 4, it was a very close round. So that would have say that like that one round could have swayed the two judges that had it 3-2 to a 3-2 Pereira instead. So be active in the clinch. Don't settle to be in the clinch. If you're not going to strike, get out of there. I suggest getting out of there anyway. But if you are, look to throw knees, look to throw elbows. You have very good knees. You're a Glory Kickboxing World Champion. So the game plan I believe for Pereira is, like I've said, go forward, box, use your jab. You had success with it when you've rarely thrown it. Don't be gun shy. Throw the right hand. You've got the power advantage. Trust in your boxing. Head movement. Don't leave your chin so up in the air when Ankalaev's coming forward. Head movement and look to counter. Look to slip like you did in moments in round 5. I don't understand why he didn't do it in round 2 when he got wobbled and round 3 when he's getting backed up. Look to if you're backing up, at least look to counter. Don't just look to pull away and break free and get distance and lose the round off of it. Look to counter. Obviously, don't just use the calf kicks. Use the body kicks, the roundhouses, the head kicks. Um, but yeah, I believe that this fight, I believe that in this case, it's easier for Ankalaev to assess Pereira as a whole than it is for Pereira to assess Ankalaev. I believe that Ankalaev's going to have success with similar things. Pereira's going to go backwards. He's going to have threat of the takedown. I wouldn't be surprised if Ankalaev got takedowns in this matchup because I feel like it's going to be working on that. Okay, I had a lot of control time against the fence. How can I utilize that to end up on top and take Pereira down? I believe that in 50 minutes of a mixed martial arts fight with these two, Ankalaev's going to be able to get him down at some point with all the takedown attempts. And I feel that he will do that in this fight. Obviously, like I said before, Pereira's getting older. He's not getting better. He maybe he's not getting worse, but he's not improving. He's 38 years of age. He's past his prime. Ankalaev's 33, hasn't taken a lot of damage, has never been knocked out. You know, this is a big thing here. He can push the pace. He can go 5 hard rounds. On the other hand, Pereira, not so easy for him. So I believe that Ankalaev will be able to get the takedowns here. Obviously, he's the more well-versed mixed martial artist. If it comes down to jiu-jitsu, if it comes down to wrestling, offensive wrestling, Ankalaev is favoured here. If it comes to output, Ankalaev is favoured here. I believe that Ankalaev, he knows Pereira's greatest weapons. So yeah, I believe that it's going to be I believe that it's going to be similar in the sense where it's going to be close in moments, but Ankalaev's just going to have that little more oomph on certain things. A close round, he's going to be able to get the deciding round on control time against the fence or land a couple shots at the end of the round and steal it. And Pereira's not being attentive and he's kind of letting that round go in the bin. Um, yeah, so a bit of a breakdown, a technical analysis on round 1, my scoring, my beliefs for each round. Um, Let me know in the comments if you disagree with me, if you agree, who you think's going to win the rematch. Um, yeah, like I said, I just believe Ankalaev is going to win this rematch. I believe it's going to be kind of what happened with Marab and Sean. There was an argument for a 2-3 Sean in that fight. Somewhat close. Obviously, this was a lot closer. And then Marab, won it more convincingly and got the finish in the rematch. I believe that Ankalaev can definitely get the finish here. I don't trust in Pereira's chin. Um, he kind of got saved by the bell a little bit in round two. I feel like he's going to be able to find those shots moving forward. And Ankalaev, if he watches the tape, Pereira just goes backwards with his chin in the air. And there's times where he could have thrown a lot more and extended his combination. So I feel that a knockout is not far fetched for Ankalaev. If I had to put my money down, I would be saying another decision. I'd probably say a 4-1 decision. Um, yeah, honestly, I am hoping Pereira gets the job done in the rematch. He is one of my most favorite active fighters in the sense of style wise. I love watching him fight, but is my reasoning for Ankalaev to defeat Pereira in the rematch. Thank you guys for watching. If you disagree, if you agree, let me know your opinions in the comments. Thank you.